Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Mares, Digital Learning Associate at Fulfillment Fund Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am here with two of my colleagues.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Peoples. I'm the Digital Marketing Associate, so I handle all of our social media accounts.
So before the pandemic, you would have probably met any one of us on a field trip, in the classroom, or in our office if you are a Fulfillment Fund Las Vegas student. However, since then, we've had to pivot by not only changing our roles, but more importantly, how we present information to you. What's key is that you know we are still here to help you achieve your college goals.
Hang on one second, Liz. Some people are having trouble hearing us. If everyone could check your sound settings on your computer. So go ahead and check the sound on your laptop or computer or on your phone. Hopefully you can just go ahead and I'm going to put in our Facebook page. We are also live on Facebook. You can't hear us through the webinar. So we're going to go ahead and continue.
Thank you to the attendees for bearing with us as we navigate these technical difficulties. Just waiting for our colleague Justine to hop back on. There she is. You are muted right now, Justine.
Hi, sorry, my sound was out.
No, you are good. So we are just going to get started one more time. So like I said, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Elizabeth Mares, Digital Learning Associate at Fulfillment from Las Vegas. And today I'm here with two of my colleagues.
Hello, everyone. I'm Justine Villa, the Digital Event Assistant.
And hi, everyone. I'm Ms. Peoples, or Ms. P. I am the Digital Marketing Associate, so I handle all of our social media accounts.
So as I was previously saying, before the pandemic, you would have probably met any one of us on a field trip, in the classroom, or in our office if you are a Fulfillment Fund Las Vegas student. However, since then, we've had to pivot by not only changing our roles, but more importantly, how we present information to you. What's key is that we are still here to help you achieve your college goals.
Moving forward, you can expect to experience our programming in a virtual format. For instance, we'll be offering several webinars just like this one on a variety of different topics. So for juniors and seniors, we'll be providing pre-recorded lessons on preparing for college admissions. In addition, you can meet with the Fulfillment Fund College counselor through one-on-one appointments via Google Meets, phone, or email to continue the conversation for your success and goals. We have a scholarship for our partner school seniors. And lastly, through various channels like our website, social media, etc., students and their families have access to information about education, financial aid, and career planning.
We understand that our current situation may not be ideal. However, in the past couple of months, we have all learned a couple of lessons that we want to acknowledge today. The first is that we all must remain flexible. Regardless of the pandemic, we have always lived in a space of uncertainty, but we are creatures of habit. We like to plan, prepare, and know what to expect, which has not been possible these past couple of months. I'm sure many of you can relate. But fortunately, it seems like we are now at a place where we have accepted the challenge this pandemic has brought on. That is why we have seen some major changes to our institutions, including distance learning.
And now that students have experienced distance learning for a couple of weeks, we want to focus on how we can make the best out of this situation. We know it may be tough acclimating to a new way of learning, but there are some ways that you can enhance your experience. And today we'll be going over tips on how to set yourself up for success when it comes to distance learning. So the first tip we want to share is, and what I found to be most important for me is time management. I currently work and I go to school full time. I also have an internship. I'm about to graduate. I'm a senior, and this is all also while being the president of a club at UNLV. So those are 4 different items that I have on my plate and need to juggle. And with graduation just around the corner, I have to work effectively and efficiently, as well as keep my sanity by balancing these things all the time. Therefore, I find it useful to designate specific times for all the things I have to get done in a way that works best for me.
Justine, I also feel strongly about time management. Like you, I have several commitments that I must attend to, and it can often feel overwhelming. This is especially the case when I do not manage my time. I appreciate how you acknowledge all the things that are on your plate, as I believe this is the first step in managing your time. Therefore, I encourage all of our viewers to also analyze all of the things that they must get done to create a schedule for those items. Besides attending classes online and doing homework, this may also include doing chores around the house or going to work, as we know many of our students have jobs, and even spending time connecting with family and friends, which is also important. Once you have identified all the things that you must get done, then I feel it's easier that you can manage your time by working backwards. For example, there are some items that have deadlines, like homework assignments. When we acknowledge what needs to get done first, then we can further understand how we must prioritize these items, which is helpful when creating a schedule.
I completely agree. And once we understand our priorities, I recommend discovering your most productive hours. For instance, are you a morning person or a night person, or are you even an afternoon person? Does anybody in the chat want to share what their preference is? Morning, night, afternoon?
See a few afternoons. I see a night person, a few night people. We got some morning people. So we have a mix.
Yeah.
Afternoon and night.
That's great.
Yeah, we got quite a mix there.
And if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to drop your responses on there as well.
Okay,
Wow,
so
we have a person that wakes up at 4:45.
whoa, no. No.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, if it works, good for you. So once we understand our priorities, and we found that what we are as a person, morning, night person, for me specifically, I value my sleep very much. So 4:45 is just not happening. It's just not. I go to sleep early and I wake up as late as I possibly can when I can. And my most productive hours happen to be the afternoon and the evenings. So therefore, I try to leave my most detailed and hefty projects until the afternoon when I can feel my most productive. So once you know your productive hours, take advantage and plan your schedule around these hours as much as you can. So if you're like me and you have a lot of different things on your plate, I found that designating certain times for certain items can help reduce stress because I've created that mental framework for when I can focus on each of these items specifically or all these different types of things that I have to do. My work hours are my work hours, and as soon as I clock out, I try not to think about work. I then also have my school hours, which allow me to work on my internship stuff, my club stuff, and my schoolwork at the same time so that I can have my weekends completely free and I don't have to do anything, or probably sleep, which is what I'm probably doing.
Shout out to all my morning people. These are all great points, Liz and Justine. I do want to add that it's okay to be flexible with your time management strategies. I find myself some days I use my calendar on my phone. I'll go in that morning, 4:30 in the morning, 4:35 in the morning is the time I get up. But I'll go in use my calendar on my phone, and for maybe every hour or every 2 hours, I'll put a task for those 2 hours, and that's how I'll manage my day. There's some days I might not be feeling my phone or my calendar, and I'll just jot down task on a to-do list and get through the to-do list that way, my task that way. So it's all about knowing what your preference is, and you can rotate. It's okay to be flexible and rotate your time management strategy. So give yourself some grace and allow yourself to be flexible in how you're managing your time, because if you're like me, I get bored and I need to switch it up. So that's another way to make sure you're managing your time, is being flexible and rotating your strategies.
I really like that advice, Marika, because as many of us know, anytime we're trying to implement new habits, it can be a challenge. Things don't just happen overnight, they require work. So if you're trying to implement new strategies, make sure that you practice and that you're not too hard on yourself if you can't implement those strategies day after day. You know, you just have to keep trying and don't give up. So now that we are taking care of most of our responsibilities from home, it has become difficult to distinguish our place of comfort from school and work life. But this is why creating a schedule is so important. Just like Justine said, it allows you to focus on one thing at a time, and it can help define the different areas of your life instead of feeling like you're just stuck in like this warp zone.
Yeah, exactly. And this kind of also brings us to our next tip. So you figured out what you need to do and what time of the day that you can be most productive for yourself, and a schedule that works best for you. Now it's time to create an actual routine for yourself. We very highly recommend this. Start your day with breakfast or a light snack. I would love to wake up every day and just eat hot Cheetos or anything that I want to eat. But it's not the healthiest, it's not the best way to start your day. Make a to-do list for the day and don't work in your PJs. I can't stress that enough. Don't work in your PJs. Get ready as if you're going to be doing all the things that you would normally do if you were in person. If you were going to school, if you were going to work, actually get dressed up, and you can be extremely amazed at how different you may feel after getting ready versus just lounging around in the clothes that you also slept in. And then you can start incorporating all the other things you want to make sure you're doing throughout the rest of the day.
I just want to emphasize how creating a routine now means getting dressed and eating regular meals. Prior to the pandemic, we didn't think much of these things, and we would almost do them automatically because we had places to be, and that required changing from our PJs to our regular clothes. Similarly, some of us would get a bite to eat before leaving home because we weren't going to have access to a meal while being out. Um, but now that we've experienced quarantine, some of these things became optional simply because we are staying at home all day. We're like right next to the fridge. We can jump out of our bed and go straight to school by, jumping on our laptop. But we all know that if you feel good, you are going to be more productive. So that's why it's key to change your clothes. And as for having regular meals, it's easier to mentally get things done when our bodies are properly fueled. The last thing I want to know about having a routine is that now it's important to engage, now and always actually, it's been important to engage in physical activity. But working and learning from home has made our lifestyles more sedentary than it was when we traveled from home to school, or like when we engaged in extracurricular activities like a sport. Therefore, I think part of your routine should include getting some physical activity in, whether that means taking a walk or exercising. It's very much needed.
100% agreed. Now, I'm a routine person as well. I have my morning routine, my hygiene and skincare routine, and it really makes a difference when you have a routine, especially if you're kicking off your day with a routine. So I'm going to challenge you all. They say in order to create a habit, it takes 21 days for you to practice that habit. So I'm going to challenge you all to a 21-day routine. Like, figure out, it may take you a week to figure out what your routine is going to be, but like brainstorm a routine that might work for you and try it out for 21 days and adjust accordingly. But I'm going to challenge you all to a 21-day challenge of creating a routine. So if you are with me, please comment in the chat and let me know that you are up for the challenge. If you're game, if you're down for the challenge, 21-day challenge, please share that below. Okay, I'm getting some yeses.
Good.
I do have a question.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
All right, we're going to check in on y'all. So we do have a question. How should we organize with the amount of work given? I'm in college right now, and I feel they give you like twice the homework from an in-person class. That's from Adrian.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of does feel like that. I also am working towards another college degree, and I have several papers to work on within like a 2-week span. But I think this really goes back to the first tip of time management. So I know writing a paper can be tough, but now just after doing it so often, I know that I need like a good 2 days to maybe write like a 4-page paper. So again, first I think about the amount of work I have and the time frame I have to do it. And in that sense, I'm working backwards. So if it's 4 papers I have to work on, then essentially I need 8 days if possible. And this may mean cutting out some of the things that you don't necessarily have to do to get that work done. Although it may mean having a little less fun, the work is going to pay off at the end. Justine, do you have any tips for that?
I want to add to that. This might be a bit extreme, but it worked for me. What I did is I took all of my syllabus, laid all of my syllabus out. I went through and looked at all of the dates, and I input all of the dates into my planner. I put them in the full calendar and also on the pages where it has like by day or by the hour. I put the assignments in there, so I have it in both places. And sometimes I will put it in my phone so as a reminder. So when you're planning ahead of time, you can look and see, okay, I have this assignment due, I have a test due this week, all in this week, or is scattered. So that helped me to plan out my schedule. Having all of those important dates and assignments in my planner and checking ahead of time. So that's one way you can do it. Put all of your assignments, important dates, your work times. I put everything in my planner ahead of time. And that way I can schedule my study times, my assignment times accordingly. And also, I don't think I shared this, but you can put yourself on a timer, like maybe put your timer on for 3 hours. And for those 3 hours, focus on that one paper. Like, don't get on social media. It's all about training your mind to be focused and dedicated. But it might be a bit extreme, but it worked for me. So try that.
Yeah, stuff like that definitely does work. Like I said, like I have 4 different things that I have to do. I'm currently a college student, and I've actually had online classes for the last couple of semesters because that's kind of how my degree specifically works. So I would also add, like, be open with communication with your professors on that. You'll be surprised how happy and like communicative they are and responsive to if you're getting super hectic and being online courses is just getting too much for you. Communicate that to your professors beforehand, and also just be honest. Like I've just honestly told a professor, like, I actually just completely forgot to do this assignment. Can I still turn it in, and I'll take the deduction off my points if you have to. But yeah, like, communicate with your professors, let them know that things are getting really hectic. And that's kind of been working for me. And exactly, like Marika said, it's been really helpful for me sticking to a specific routine and setting alarms for all these specific times and projects. So I have alarms for clocking in and out of work, as well as clocking in and out of school in a way. So I can clock in, set up my alarms for all the stuff that I need. And as soon as I clock out, then I'm done. Like, I need to make sure I get all those things done in that specific time, because then afterwards I don't have to worry about it and I have everything else that I need to do. So you can set up alarms for other items you need to do throughout the days, like homework assignments, and I would put those during your most productive hours. And you can also set alarms for other things too, like eating, stretching, allowing yourself breaks. I even have like a specific like thing on my watch that reminds me to like get up and stretch if I've been sitting down for too long. So I think this is all extremely important to self-care as well. And that's actually going to take us into our next segment. So what I found to be helpful also for sticking to routine is setting alarm. Is because you're working from home, the line between personal space and work zone can get kind of blurred. So you want to be able to avoid work creep. And work creep is basically work creeping into your life, like personal life, and kind of disrupting all of that other stuff. One of the biggest advices we can give you for that is take the time to self-care. I'm sure everyone has heard of self-care and mental health, and there are tons of methods and things to do and different ways to self-care. So why don't we open up to the chat and everybody share something that they specifically do for self-care. So while you guys are doing that, once you're typing in all your responses, I'm just going to share a little bit of some of the things that I like to do. Personal is sleeping. Yes, I see sleep. Sleep is my favorite thing. Like I said earlier, I very much value my sleep, so I will sleep as much as possible. I'll wait all week just to sleep on the weekends. I also like shopping. Like retail therapy is like really fun for me. Probably not the healthiest, but fun. I like to watch Netflix, clean, and just really like relaxing stuff because I feel like I'm mostly on the go, like constantly. So when I do have the time to do what I want, I usually try to keep it very minimum. What about you, Marika, Liz?
I love all the things you mentioned. I also really enjoy my sleep. Another thing I do to de-stress is play or go on walks with my dogs. That allows me to go outside and take a mental break. I also like to cook, clean, and listen to music. Basically anything that requires like hands-on activities and will take my mind off the pressure I may be feeling. Um, and nowadays we engage in so many activities that really consume our mental thoughts, and that's what I really try to break free from. Therefore, for the purpose of self-care, I also stay away from social media. I know that a lot of people use social media as a way to take a break, you know, during their downtime. They scroll through their feed, uh, look at what their friends and family are doing. But in my opinion, this only clutters your mind more. So it's not really de-stressing for me. So I recommend you stay away from that.
I'm gonna read some of the comments in the chat. Some people listen to music. I see sleep. Some people go for a walk every day or run, journal, meditate, listen to music. I might have said that one. Sports like basketball, riding a bike. Someone takes care of their birds or their animals. They hit the gym. These are all great ways to self-care. Yes, I love it. Self-care is important. It matters. Because if you ain't right up in here, you can't really get too much done. Well, at least that's the case for me. I also listen to the Hamilton soundtrack every day. What else? I do most of those things as well. Again, like my morning routine is a part of self-care for me, my skincare and hygiene routine. I work out in the mornings. I box for my workout, and that's like a stress reliever for me. It helps me to let off. I don't really have any steam in the morning times. I probably should go to boxing at night. But working out, my routine, a cup of tea is self-care for me as well. I love tea. But one of the things that I've started doing lately is coloring. Even as an adult, I enjoy coloring. Coloring is very therapeutic for me, and I love it. And I would suggest coloring for all my creatives out there. I got to do something creative, whether it's listening to music or y'all can do the little TikTok dances. I won't do a TikTok. I can't work TikTok. Some one of y'all are gonna have to teach me, but I can't do TikTok. But anything creative gets me going and helps me to take care of myself. I think someone mentioned movies, but Netflix or movies, I love film. But definitely coloring. That has been my go-to lately. So I would highly advise coloring or reading, whatever it is that gets you going or helps you to feel good on the inside. I would suggest go for it.
Yeah, Marika, I just want to echo your sentiment about feeling good. Um, if self-care really is not just to be more productive, to get better results, um, it can really just change your state of mind and how you feel, your attitude. So it can really redirect your whole approach for various things in life. And I'm sure we've all encountered a person with a really bad attitude. If anything, for me, that's a signal that that person is not taking care of themselves. So
Yeah, and so as you can see, self-care can come in so many different forms, shapes, sizes. It can be really anything that's specific to you. One of the things I really want to highlight is actually listening to music. So if you're here at the beginning of the video, we actually played the soundtrack to Will Smith's Lo-Fi Beats. If you haven't heard of it before, lo-fi is a genre of music that is basically beats put together to create a relaxed environment. So that was the sound that you heard at the beginning of the video was the lo-fi beats. And lo-fi was specifically designed to have a specific sound to make you focus on each beat that is put into it, which in turn helps you focus on whatever task you're also doing. So there was even a study done on this that showed 86% of listeners saw an increase in their productivity and study habits. So you can find a whole bunch of beats on this on YouTube. They last for hours, and you can just play them while you're working or studying or doing anything else really, and you'll be relaxed and productive. So if you want to look a bit into more of the benefits of lo-fi, Rick is actually going to post the article that I found on that into the chat.
I actually believe that study because just yesterday I tried playing lo-fi music while I worked at your recommendation, Justine, and before I knew it, like half an hour had passed and I was working continuously without a problem. So I'm gonna keep trying that.
Yeah, exactly. Like lo-fi can be really great. And even like my boyfriend, he listens to the like instrumentals of like orchestra playing from video games. And he's found that to be like super productive for him. So maybe it's not specifically hip hop lo-fi, but maybe you find your own kind of lo-fi that's the orchestra from video games because it helps you focus. Because also, I mean, it's for video games. That stuff definitely helps people focus when they're listening to it while they're playing video games as well. So go outside, meditate, get creative, find a new hobby. If you don't know your own self-care habits, just find what's missing in your life. Like I said earlier, I found that I'm always on the go. So when I do have time to self-care, I try to relax. Maybe you're relaxing too much or you don't have a whole bunch going on. So when you self-care, you need to exercise or be more productive. So you can find all those different things. And another thing, keep in touch with your friends. Video chat often. Schedule times to meet with them weekly if you can, to catch up, go over homework, if they need help, you need help, anything. But just keep in touch and talk about your day, ask about theirs, because I'm sure you need it and I'm sure that they need it. And another large part of self-care that we're going to be talking about is setting up boundaries for yourself. So this can take a lot of different forms in your life when it comes to setting up boundaries. And it's really just making sure that you are setting up time for yourself as well as setting up time for your school or work because you need these boundaries with all these people in your lives or technology. I think we've all learned by now that there are a lot of distractions when it comes to learning from home, whether it's pets, siblings, roommates, significant others, parents, technology, your cell phone. It's important to set up boundaries with those you live with so that you can create a space that is conducive for you to learn from home. And this can be as simple as having a conversation with your loved ones. You may have a whole house filled with people who are working and learning from home just like you. And you have to figure out each other's schedules and respect those times. So maybe you have an older sibling that will agree to take your younger sibling out for a walk while you have class so you can be more attentive. And that way they also get some self-care in and some exercise in if they want it. Or maybe they're simply designating quiet time or times when you don't want someone to interrupt you. You can put up a sign on your door that says something like class is in session. For me and my boyfriend specifically, we live together and he's a teacher. So when he's teaching classes, he'll keep the door closed to the office. Then I know that when I'm listening to my lo-fi music, I'm keeping it down. It's not extremely loud. I get to set up my office somewhere else where I'm also comfortable. And I'm also keeping my dog down because I'm pretty sure he just likes to be annoying and he'll bark at everything and nothing. So you just got to make sure you got to keep those things down sometimes.
Yeah, boundaries are great and very healthy, even if that's with your pets. So we recommend that you be clear and direct with what you need, as well as be open to compromise with those in your household. There may be conflicting schedules, so you may have to negotiate some items, but as long as you have a conversation about it, you can work things out, and this will allow you to make the best out of the situation and set yourself up and those around you for success. So now that you have established boundaries, it can be a lot easier to create a comfortable working space for you to learn from home. So that's our next tip, for you to designate a certain area for you to learn from home. You don't want this to be your bed or your couch, although it might be a very comfortable place. It's not going to allow you to be the most productive possible. Also, we understand that not all students have their own room or space. Don't let that deter you. This may mean just finding like a corner that could be just for you. A good place we recommend is sitting next to a window. It's going to give you a nice scenery to look at, but also the natural lighting can help you just stay on top of your task, which is true for me, which is why I'm recommending it. In addition, if you can have like a desk or a table in this area where you can keep all your items in one place and you don't have to move them around, I think that will help you, again, create a mental framework for your workspace versus your lounge space. So when you sit down in this area, you'll know it's time to work. And then when you leave, it's break time.
Exactly. And now we can go into what you might need in regard to having the right equipment for learning and working. So there's some great tools I've used to help me work better digitally. And one of these things that I think is extremely useful and people don't really think about often, and I use every single time I'm on my computer, are Chrome extensions. So these are almost always free and they're plugins that you put into your browser. So there are 3 different ones that I've found extremely helpful to use in my everyday life for me personally. But Chrome has tons and tons of different things you can use and you can utilize for yourself that you may find better than the ones that I'm using. So the first thing I'm going to mention is ad blocker. It's pretty self-explanatory, but obviously it's once you upload this to your computer, you don't have to worry about annoying pop-up ads coming up all the time. Another great tool is Grammar and Spell Checker, and this is a language tool, and it's a helpful Chrome extension that you can use whenever you type something to make sure your spelling and grammar are good. It's really helpful to me when I'm writing emails or doing discussion posts for classes because, that's pretty much all you do on online courses is discussion posts. So what it does is basically it automatically highlights the problem area, and all you have to do is click it and it'll pretty much fix it. And my last but favorite tool is called Momentum. And so these are all on the screen if you want to look them up, once you go look them up. And this tool, Momentum specifically, is I use to help, it helps focus me and also project manage. So when you have this extension, every time you open up a new tab, this page will pop up and it'll have a nice background, a quote of the day, the time, your to-do list, and a spot for you to put your main focus. So Rika's also going to put into the chat where you can click to find all of these, and you can look for these ones specifically that I use, or you can go in and find other ones that might be more helpful to you. And besides these online tools, of course, there's other like actual tangible items that make learning from home better. For example, if you learn from a space that doesn't get any natural light, then you may want to consider buying a lamp or a ring light. And this will help make sure that you're not really washed out. And it's a great substitute for missing lighting. Another item I often use are actually these blue light glasses. So these are specific glasses for the blue light that comes off of technology. So whether it's the computer, whether it's TV, or whether it's your cell phone, it kind of blocks that light out. So it'll help you kind of focus, concentrate better. I got these super cheap off of Amazon. I think it was like 13 bucks. And they've really helped me focus, because staring at a screen all day can be extremely tiring and kind of mentally exhausting as well. So for me, these have improved my headaches. Like I got a lot of headaches before I got these. They've kind of minimized now. I'm not going to say that this is going to be like a total miracle worker for you, but for me personally, they've helped. I suggest at least giving them a try because they're also really cheap. But yeah, they've helped with headaches, and they've actually even helped with some of my my sleep schedule too.
That's cool to know. They help you and they're stylish too. Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Justine. Some of the other tools that I have found helpful are using earbuds or headphones while engaging in an online class or meeting. This really helps to tune out some of the noisy distractions around you. What's more, it helps you by having a mic that you can speak into, because again, this helps to drown out that noise that may be around you. So then at that point, you'll have less of a challenge contributing your thoughts in class. Next, I want to recommend using a wireless keyboard and mouse. It seems like most of us are now using laptops to connect to our classes or meetings. And using the keyboard on your laptop or your touchpad sometimes is just not as comfortable as it is if you were to have like a full-size keyboard or an independent mouse that usually comes with a desktop. Besides being more comfortable, having these items can help reduce some of the side effects that result from constantly using these tools that really put our hands in these weird positions and can cause pain. I actually sometimes experience pain in my arms and my wrists, my thumbs, just because we're using our phones, our laptops, our desktops a lot more than we used to. And the health problems that result are just not good for you. So that's why you might need these items to just mitigate that issue.
All right, so we're kind of coming down to the end here. Why don't we take a second to answer any questions anybody might have? Or does anybody also want to share like other technology that they found helpful for them?
Don't be shy.
All right, so if we don't have any other questions, we're just gonna start going to, with that being said, We want to remind everyone that for registering and for attending this event tonight, you are going to receive a free digital essentials package that is going to include some of the equipment we actually went over today. So, yay! This is our way of thanking you for participating, but most importantly, we really want you to know and make it clear that we're still doing all we can to support all of you on your path to getting a higher education, or continuing your higher education, whether that means you're learning from home or from school. So our plan is to continue having more webinars where you'll be able to continue interacting with us. The more engagement we get, the more goodies we'll be able to give away to you. So please make sure you stay up to date with the virtual events and that we're going to be offering by following us on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or all three. Or just do all three. Just follow us on all three. It's going to be so helpful. It'll be the best for everybody. I promise.
Yeah.
And this brings us to the end of our presentation. So
I am adding all of these social media links in the chat below. Please follow us on social media. We want to hear from you. We want you all to engage with us. We want to engage with you all. And we also post important information for you all. So I am trying my best to hurry up. I already posted the Instagram page, the link for that. There's Facebook, and Twitter is on the way. Justine, you can go ahead. I'm just going to add it as you continue with your spiel.
Yeah, so please just continue to come to our webinars, share them with your friends. You may get more free stuff. It might be cool. It might not. No, it'll be cool, I promise. But definitely continue to participate in all of our webinars. But yeah, thank you for coming tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Just so you know, we see you, Fulfillment Fund students. Love that you continue to follow us. So I'm just going to shout out a couple of kids: Angelica, Cody. Who else do we have? Nayeli, Melanie, Tamara. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Thank you all. Don't forget about that 21-day challenge. Get yourselves a routine. A routine. Take care of yourselves and follow us on social media.
And don't worry, we have everybody's addresses as well. So we will be getting those boxes to you hopefully very soon. We may need to contact you if we have to get, just to clarify addresses and stuff. But you will be getting your packages very soon.
Woo!
So have a nice evening.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.